Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna be doing another simple tutorial today. So this one is very simple. If you're a beginner, you're gonna find it very simple. It's something that you can make within half an hour. So if you're new to my channel, if you're coming across my channel for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe if you like what you see, and also make sure that you share my content with your friends and family so that others can discover my channel as well. So my hope and my goal is to be able to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I hope that with your help, you guys, it is very much possible. So I am relying on you guys to like, share, comment. So let's go, let's get it, let's get to 10,000 subscribers. Now today's tutorial is a very simple one. So I'm gonna be cutting the front and the back at the same time. So here I've already cut out my fabric. So you're probably wondering what type of fabric this is. So this is a lining fabric. So if you want to use a normal fabric, that's fine, but I'm using a lining fabric because I just want a light summer feel and type of kimono that I can just throw on in the summer. And I also like just experimenting with different types of fabrics, so this is just one of those things. So I'm going to be cutting the front and the back pattern together. So I've already cut out my fabric and I've layered the two together. So the width of the fabric is currently 20 inches, and for the length of the dress I'm going to be using 40 inches, and that's also including my hemming allowance. And then I just draw a line across that 40 inches point to know where the dress will stop. So at the top here, I'm just going to section off about an inch of the top to mark my starting point. So from that starting point, that's where all my measurements will start from. So the neck width for the back is going to be 3 inches, and then the depth is going to be 1 inch. You just want to go ahead and connect the two in a curve to mark your neckline. So next thing I'm going to do is, your shoulder measurement is not really needed. So I'm going to be using 19 inches here as my width. So that's also including my sleeve length as well. So then from that sleeve measurement, I'm going to just measure my arm opening. And I think I'm using about 14 inches around here. So really just depends on what you want and what you like. If you want it to be a little bit wider, go ahead and go for it. So now on that point, I'm just gonna come in by, so I'm gonna first of all square that line so I know exactly where the sleeve is ending, and then from that point I'm gonna come in by about an inch and then use that corner there to mark my underarm curve. So just go ahead and draw out your underarm curve like so. Just freestyle it. It's very simple. Just connect the two lines. And at the point where we've come in by an inch, so that's now the point where we're gonna take all the way down and the entire length of the dress. So now the width is now going to be 19 rather than 20 because we've come in by 1 inch just to draw that underarm curve. I hope it makes sense. So now we're pretty much ready to cut out the pattern. So just go ahead and cut out your pattern. Okay, so now I've separated the two pieces, and this is the front one. I'm going to be making adjustments to the center front of this one. So first of all, I'm going to be sectioning off 2 inches from the top right to the bottom, and I'm going to be cutting off that 2 inches. So if you remember when we cut the neckline, it was 3 inches in width. So now what I'm going to do now is make sure that I cut off that 1 inch that is remaining, because I'm already cutting off 2 inches like I said before, and now I'm going to be making sure that what I'm marking here is cutting off the remaining 1 inch. So take that measure from that point, from the neckline, I measure about 8 inches and connect it in a V-shaped line to the neckline so I can cut everything in one go. So now it's time for us to start sewing. So you want to make sure that you are placing the fabrics right side to right side, so hence the back one, the right side is facing towards you, and then you place the front one, making sure the right side is on the inside, so both of them are right side to right side. So then you want to pin at the shoulders and then the sides, so that's where we're going to start sewing from. You want to sew the shoulders first, and then you sew the sides. So after the shoulders and the sides are sewn, we're gonna now pay attention to the neckline. So from the opening from the top to the bottom, I think I have about 39 inches. So that means I have two sides, and then the neckline, which is around maybe 7 inches. Add that all together, and then I have the total length of what I need to cut. So I need to cut about 86 inches, but I always put allowance, so I'll maybe end up cutting about maybe 100 inches in length, and then it's going to be 4 inches wide, or maybe even 5, so that when you fold it, you end up with at least 2 inches of width. So I'm going to be cutting that, so that's what we're going to use to finish the center front of the garment. So just going ahead here to cut the pieces that I need, and I'll be right back. So here I've got the strip that I'm going to be using to finish the front of the fabric. So and now what I'm gonna do is just turn the fabric inside out first. Turn the kimono inside out to the right side. So now that you've got that on the right side, you want to then go ahead and fold your strip into two. If you want to iron it and fold into two, then iron it to make it a little bit easier. That's fine. But myself, I can be lazy sometimes with the ironing. So what you just need to do is fold it into two, pin it to start pinning from the bottom of one side, so then you end up having 3 layers. That makes sense. And then just pin it all the way right to the top, round the neckline, and then back down to the center front on the other side. So once you finish pinning everything down and everything looks good, you just want to take that to the sewing machine and sew that to the front of the kimono, and that will be it. So now that the front is finished, as you can see, what next is I'm gonna hem the sleeves and also hem the end of first of all, I'm gonna cut off the excess leftover fabric here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and fold the sleeves and sew that in place, and also hem the bottom of the kimono. And so at this point we're pretty much done, but it's just a few final touches that's left for us to finish. Alright, so now I've hemmed the garment, I've done the sleeves. So now what I'm gonna do is put that final bit of extra zhuzh, extra whatever you want to call it, to the kimono. So this is gonna go on the side, so I'm gonna be using an elastic for this final piece, so just to give it that unique look. So I'm just eyeballing it what I want the elastic to be at this point. So I've measured in about 8 inches from the bottom of the garment right here. So these are gonna go on the sides. Okay, so now I'm gonna be using this elastic here. I'm gonna be cutting about 5 inches in length of elastic, which I'm going to be using. So here I've decided to come down to do another measurement, which is going to be 4 inches from the from the bottom. So I'm going to be using 4 rather than the 8 that I initially marked. So this is just me using my own judgment of what I want it to look like. So I'm going to be using 4 inches, and then I'm going to be sewing the elastic where the seam allowance is. So, and then when I sew that done, I'm just going to be stretching it out, so that way the elastic can pull the kimono together on the sides to give it that style that I'm after. So the elastic is a little bit too wide, so I've decided to just cut it into 2 to make it what I need it to be at the moment. So yeah, so these are the two strips I'm going to be using. They're 5 inches long. So to start off, I've just gone over the elastic a few times just to secure that in place, and then I'll go ahead with the sewing it, stretching it and sewing it at the same time on the seam allowance line. So this is what it looks like after sewing. You can see, so this is the effect that I was going for. And now that I've done that, I'm just going to repeat that for this other side as well. So once this is finished, that's pretty much the end of the tutorial. So stay tuned for the pictures.